Right.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the Right Now Writers Group. Let me start this officially. This is our 45th meeting where we meet every week to talk about writing shenanigans with other writers here in the community. This is our one stream every week, which is an open invite for writers who want to hop on stream with us and chat about all things writing related. Or maybe we're just trying to procrastinate a little bit. You know what? Who knows? Welcome to the community. I'm Kaufman, on the mission to do all the things, and welcome. And I don't know what's on my writing mind tonight. What do you want to talk about? How are you feeling about the writing vibe? Drop a comment. We would love to hear you, and come join the conversation. You guys are all used to my fellow co-host, but Chat Soul, for anyone who doesn't know you, who are you?
Hi guys. So I'm Chat Soul, the person with a really high word count. um, I've been working on a fan fiction rewrite lately, and the story I did for the competition that's coming up. I'm actually continuing it. My other writers group liked it so much they want me to continue it, so I figured why not.
Ooh, so exciting. You're like, ooh, the competition. I know that's on everyone's mind. I'll throw it over to you first, Calvin. Who are you? What are you working on?
Hey guys, I'm Calvin. I love writing my military science fiction stories, and I am finishing up on one of only two chapters left on the first Storm book before it gets released, hopefully next week.
Oof, that is so exciting. So exciting. Calvin, I'm like so happy for you. And we're actually launching something new with the community. I'm going to circle back to that in just a second. But Maddie, I'll kick it over to you.
Hi, Maddie Marengo from Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. I'm a screenwriter, and I just finished first draft today, so that's pretty cool.
Ooh, that is so exciting. Being able to get to the first draft is such a huge accomplishment. I know how I felt when I at least got through the first draft of Scarecrow. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so much closer to the end. And then the second draft is taking longer. Oh man, you know what? That's actually a question that comes to mind, and I would love to hear from the community. Love to hear you all weigh in. How long does it take you to get through a first draft as compared to like a second draft, a third draft? I would love to hear. I know for me, Scarecrow took me about 6, 7 months. I think it took me about 6 to 7 months to get through Scarecrow, and then yeah, I want to say it was 6 or 7 months. I'm like, I think I finished at 6.5 because I was writing pretty consistently. And then I started the second draft in October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. And I've been working on the second draft for about 8 months now. Yeah, I would say that sounds about right. I'm going to throw that in the YouTube chat. I would love to hear from you. What about the rest of you guys? How long does it usually take you guys to finish a first draft?
Um, Not including the years before I got to the final version. Burning Ember took me about 4 months to get through the first draft, and about 2.5 to 3 months for the second draft. The second book took me 6 months overall, first and second draft.
So, Soul, is that why you write so quickly? Is that why you have such a high word count? Because you spent 16 years working on the first one, so now you feel like you're trying to make up for all those words that lost time.
That is not my conscious reason.
It always
No, my
reminds me of that,
conscious
like,
reason for writing so much is I just enjoy writing.
I'm messing with you. It totally reminds me of that quote from the Hamilton, where it's like you're always writing like you're running out of time. I was like, that would totally be me. If I found out I had like a year left to live or like something crazy like that, I would probably be writing like 10 times more.
That makes sense. There's a lady in my other writers group that I go to on Tuesday nights, and she's older, and she
Mm-hmm.
has some heart condition. She has some kind of heart condition, and well, she said some kind of worrying a few weeks ago, but she's writing a memoir of her life, and she has really been trying to finish it, and it's just like, are you afraid you're going to die before you finish it? Because just my God. But it's good to see what she's been reading, and it's actually really good. So I can't wait till it comes out. But she's like right now. I think it's like in the final stages, waiting for the editor to send it back. But it'll take like a couple weeks. But she's nearly done. But yeah, just I think for some people it's like there's something going on. They want to finish it.
Yeah, and I mean, I can tell everyone's kind of takes different time frames. It seems with their first drafts. I mean, you can tell Penumbra depends on the work in progress. It looks like straight writing 2 months with 2 months for first rewrites. Bethany's been on theirs for 10 plus years and going. Well, I mean, you still might be able to beat Chat Soul. I mean, Soul, you took what 16-20.
19.
Whew, man. Lynn is like, I average 3 to 5 months for a first draft. Courtney is like, with the way I edit 5 chapters as I'm writing, it's difficult to say which things are technically in LL. It's trying to figure out, like, okay, which one's a draft? And of course, this changes for everyone if we end up going back and making a lot of revisions and changes. And they're like, okay, is this a first draft or is this like a 20th draft? And we're just going to call it a first draft. So I think that really changes for everybody. Maddie, Calvin, what about you guys?
Oh man, for me, it's like really dependent on how interested I am in a project.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the fastest that I finished a first draft, I had this script called "Bring Helen Back,"
Okay.
and it was like 3 days for a first draft, and then I have other projects that I've still not finished a first draft for. But usually, if it's going like beyond a month long, I'll just skip
Mm-hmm.
to a new script and figure it out from there. That's usually my
Mm.
process.
Like skip it and figure it out until it's just done.
Super chaotic, but it works.
Calvin, what about you? Do you have an average?
Um, I don't know because it took me roughly about 2 years to complete the first Storm's first draft, and then I look at the second Storm book I'm working on, and five. I'm only 4 months really into it, and I'm already 23 chapters in.
Wow,
So
that's pretty awesome, actually. And the reason I bring this up is because it's to show a point that we all work on drafts and stories and writing at such different paces. One of the biggest things I see with a lot of writers, and like I'm sure there's a reason that so many writers don't finish their books and get through the whole process, is because they end up comparing themselves. And I think everyone is at their own process and part of it. And I think just by showing this, all of us gave completely different numbers for how long it's taken us to get through drafts. So I like quickly hopped onto a podium and made it a teaching moment. All right, that's all. Oh man, but I have no clue how long it's going to take me to get through the second draft. I'm hoping in like a perfect world, I'll be able to finish it in hopefully by the summer. But granted, I get too like not too focused, but I'm just so busy with all the other stuff I'm doing. Um, but it's all good. And I mean, I know Calvin, you said that you're progressing through your second draft so much faster.
I mean, I'm already up to 23 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
We're finishing the Regelis campaign, and they
Mm-hmm.
were supposed to go to another campaign, but I'm scratching that one just because I think the book is then going to be like 70 chapters. So I
Mm-hmm.
figure I'll save that one for the third book where I weave it in. But we're almost at the one campaign that's going to take like a bulk of the book.
And I mean, it kind of sounds like that same thing happened with you too, Soul, right? You said your second book's taking you faster, right?
Mhm. I think part of that just comes from having an established universe. And, well, by the time I finished the first book, I had already planned out the second, and I already planned out the third one. And so I
Mm-hmm.
just had to connect the dots on what's going to happen in the second. Yeah, I had
Mm-hmm.
my third book like almost done before the second was even written. But working in an established universe seems to really help because you do have to create some characters, but there's already characters that exist. You already know the rules of the world. It's
Mm-hmm.
just simply finding a storyline that fits that world, that connects to the first one, and also in my case, the third one.
Oh man, guys, how many books are we gonna do in our series? How many is too many? You're only doing three?
Only, well, for pirates, yeah.
Oh, okay, for at least for pirates. Hmm. Maddie, what about yours? Is yours a standalone? Or is yours a
uh,
series?
Pretty much everything I write is all standalone, but I have like this one bar that I have every character I write into a story go to. So
Mm-hmm.
they're all technically connected, but in completely different genres.
Oh, because kind of like an extended universe in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's more just like an inside joke for myself and people who read my scripts. So yeah, it's connected, but I would never like write an extension onto characters that I have.
I mean, I think that would be literally one of the coolest things. I think when you have stories that are unrelated, and we usually see this with anthologies, and then you do something where they're like, oh, they're more connected by something. I think that's super cool. I loved when they've done that in anthology TV shows I've seen, especially Black Mirror. Oh my goodness, I don't know anyone who watches Black Mirror out there, but great anthology. Okay, so on a completely unrelated note, it looks like we have another strange writer here in the studio. Better than Beetlejuice. So let me just yell crazy, 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 and welcome crazy to the stream. Welcome, my friend.
It's showtime.
Crazy. Thanks for joining us, my dude. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Finally got done with a short film I'd been working on for a couple weeks. I didn't think I'd make it. I didn't think I thought I missed my little due date on when it was supposed to come out, but I was able to just get it just in time.
Oh, that's so exciting. Sounds like
And that
everyone's like making a lot of progress and finishing things right now. I feel like everybody in this group has like finished something lately.
Technically.
Like finished something, that's for sure.
Hey, I finished the short story, and that's the only thing I've technically finished.
Oh man, I'm
and that's
curious on a scale of
that's
like 1 to 10. How are you guys feeling like on the writing vibe? 10 amazing, 1 horrible. How do you guys feel if you were to give it a number right now?
About a 7.
7. Okay.
8.
8.
I'm like an 8, yeah.
when I would
What about the
write,
rest of
it
you
would be
guys?
in about 8.
8. Okay. On a 10 scale. How is I'm just throwing this in the chat right now. How is your writing vibe? 1 worst, 10 best. Okay, I threw this. I want to hear from the chat as well. I'm actually really curious. And the reason I'm asking is because as seasons go, I'm really curious if we are heavily influenced by being more influenced by wanting to write and then less influenced from wanting to write based on the season. What do you guys think? And I know that was one of the reasons that NaNoWriMo was actually started in November to encourage writers to write since they were already inside. But do you guys think people want to write more during like the rainy day months and less during the summer, or vice versa?
I like writing at all times of the year. I find
I
if
know you
there's
and me
like
both.
if there's like a grueling heat, it's like that's going in the script. It's it's perfect.
Maddie, I like totally resonate with that. During last summer when there was a bunch of fires in our area, which like fires that not good, of course. But I go outside because my dad is like, okay, well, you know what? It's really strange outside. I go outside. There's ash falling from the sky because we're so close, right? And we didn't have to evacuate, luckily. But my first thought as a writer, and like, it's not a good. I don't know if it's good or a bad thing. My first thought is like, so we're in what proximity to the closest fire? And there's ash. How can I assimilate this in the world of the last scarecrow so I can make it realistic when he's traveling through fire decaying land? Like, such a writer thing. Yeah. Do you guys ever do that? Do you guys feel like you take a lot of writing, of a lot of inspiration from the things around you?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Kinda.
Oh yeah.
Mostly game and movies.
Mostly from movies and media.
hmm
Mine actually comes from my emotions, whatever I'm feeling in the moment. That and music.
I like that. So if we're having like a downtime, it's like let's play the right music to get ourselves into the mood.
Yes, the mood.
Yeah,
Hey.
I've noticed that while I usually have like 1 or 2 things that I really have been trying to work on right now, like and not go between like 5 or 6,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm actually specifically working on actually seems to depend on my mood lately. So like if I'm having like a really bad day, like I will admit the past week has been just absolute crap for me. I have actually found myself enjoying writing a very heavy moment in my rewrite that
Hmm.
it was like I was basically torturing the character.
Man. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. And it feels like everyone in the community is kind of going back and forth on their how they've been on the writing vibe over here. I think we're getting a lot of in the middles for how everyone's feeling writing wise. Oh, we're getting some eights and nines, which is awesome. And then a couple of threes and fours, a five, and I think a healthy. Okay, so we got kind of like a range from 3 to 9, which is interesting.
We believe in you.
We believe in you. We're going to have a mantra. Oh man, one of the first critique groups we did, one of the first private critiques groups we did for the channel membership, and I know you guys, Calvin, I think were you there for the first one that we did for the first critique group?
No, I wasn't. I didn't start coming in. Oh, wait a minute. Which critique group? Your Saturday ones or the ones we do on a monthly basis?
People always give me crap for the first one because I wanted to try something. I was like, okay, we are going to like I'm gonna do like this unified thing that I wanted to try. I'm like, all right, well, I'll pledge to be to like do like a writing thing so everyone's giving the same type of feedback. And when I thought of it in my head, it was such a great idea. I'm like, okay, everyone's gonna like say it and we're all gonna agree, and there will never be a communication problem. And then in actuality, it came out like the Pledge of Allegiance. It was the funniest thing ever. I was like, needless to say, I didn't do that again. I don't. You know, one of these days, guys, I'll have the pledge of right now. Maybe that's what I'll start every stream with. Who wants to see everybody say right now instead of just me doing a pledge every day?
I
This
thought you
is
meant
my
like I pledge
keyboard.
allegiance to the right now.
Pledge of allegiance to the right now.
I pledge allegiance to the right now of the United Book Fund of the world
Pledge
and to the
allegiance right
republic
now.
for which it stands, one nation under the skull or the dragon of awesomeness, with liberty and justice for all writers.
I absolutely love that. Crazy. Can we please like cop? I'm gonna have to like go back and rewatch this so that way we can save the pledge of right now.
Yes.
It's like the eclipse behind you too. Like,
Who needs an actual mission statement when we can just have the pledge of right now instead?
I put a stamp on it. Boom. It is approved now.
Okay, perfect. It's got the crazy stamp of approval. So anytime
Yes.
we need the pledge of right now, we just have to shout crazy 3 times, and you'll come help us with the pledge.
Yes.
Oh man, I pledge allegiance to dragons. Bethany's comment. Yes, I fully approve. We need a pledge allegiance to dragons. And whenever people ask me what my favorite animal is, it is still a dragon. And then they tell me that dragons aren't real. And then I'm like, wait, Komodo dragons are very real. So technically they are.
you just say not anymore. Look really
Aw,
sad about it.
aw. Oh man. So writing vibe wise. So how have you guys been feeling about your stories lately? Good, bad, in the middle? I know we've had like a lot of progress, but have you been feeling good about what you've been writing?
Yeah, gotta admit, I've kind of like what I've been doing. I'm doing like I said, I'm doing the continuation of what I'm doing for the contest, and I'm liking what I'm doing with the
Mhm.
characters. I actually get to have fun developing a culture
Mhm.
because the story actually kind of revolves around that a little bit. So that's actually been a
Mhm.
lot of fun because I get to go down fun little rabbit holes.
Ooh.
My film that I'm writing is like an anthology of like death. So it's just so upsetting, feels terrible every time.
I'm listening.
That's like right up Crazy's alley.
I
You're
was gonna
like
say you
crazier the
just piqued
better.
his interest.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm not surprised, Maddie. I mean, we read your one of your script excerpts was that a few critique shows back, and it was pretty dark, but it was a good dark like that horror vibe. I love horror thriller is always a vibe.
Oh, thank you very much. It's much less horror thriller. It's much more just depressing and, kind of sad. But if there are parts that feel good, it's just, it's about death. So
Mm,
inherently it comes with comes with the terms.
So I'm curious. So thinking, I mean, not just about that theme of death, but do you guys have a theme in your writing that you try to always get across? This is kind of something that just like came to me. Is there like a theme? Because like when I think about big authors, or I think about writers, or sometimes filmmakers as well, there's almost like they become known for certain types of themes or types of messages in their storytelling.
Yeah.
Do you guys have themes or messages that you like want to convey in your stories, regardless of the format, the genre, whatever, or something like a theme you want to become known for in 10, 20 years, however long your the writing vibe lasts for?
I think.
Yeah. I tend to try to I tend to navigate towards coming of age type of stories and healing from trauma. And I mean, my
Mm-hmm.
characters are all traumatized, so it definitely makes sense.
so
But
so
yeah, no, I guess actually
people
my
overcoming
theme would
trauma.
be just dealing with trauma, but it's not like healing from it, it's just simply dealing with it, and whether they heal or not depends on the story. My fanfiction rewrite is the only thing right now that the character actually technically does not heal from their trauma in the end. And it's the only story I have right now where the character actually dies.
Oh wow, wow! It's the
Yeah,
only
that
story
was
where the
the
character
first
dies.
fan fiction I'd written in years, and how
Mhm.
do I end it? With the character dying. That was not my
Aw,
intention either. I knew it was going to end badly. I just didn't know that badly.
dang, you didn't know till you got to the end.
I didn't know it until I actually reread the last chapter, and then I'm like, what the heck did I just do?
Aw. Well, I mean, I think when we're, I mean, obviously, I think we throw a lot of obstacles at our characters. And I think anytime characters are experiencing and dealing with trauma, like the question is like, okay, well, what type of message do we want? I mean, the character to go through or the character to understand, and how do we want our readers to respond to it? I know Lynn said something very similar. You're like, theme, even people who have had trauma can find love. It's a great theme, by the way.
Yeah.
Bethany, this is a great underdog one I love. Never underestimate
Yes.
someone. I love that. Great, great underdog. I might actually challenge that underdogs are probably one of the most popular character types to
Mhm.
write. I think the underdog is, but I could challenge that. Antihero might be more popular, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Natalie, like, ooh, I like confronting really powerful dynamics and also themes of identity, right? Power versus identity. Those are great, great themes. What do I tend to go with? I think a lot because I like to do more complex storytelling in terms of plotting and world building. So I think I tend to challenge themes of identity as well. But I think identity in the face of crisis. Usually, my characters tend to be go be going through the most traumatic thing they've ever experienced, as compared to something that they've already been traumatized with. A lot of the times, yeah. And I was like, I could say memory, but I think the memory is very much specific to Scarecrow, to the world of Scarecrow, which I found interesting. What about the rest of you guys? I know Maddie, you were speaking to death a little bit. So do you like to challenge things like life versus death type of thing with some of your work?
A lot of my themes also have to deal with overcoming trauma and
Okay.
sort of overcoming abandonment. That seems to be a running theme with like every single thing I write. It's
That
not
I
even
mean, that's a
intentional.
great theme, by the way. I mean, I feel like most people have probably felt some type of abandonment in their life, whether that's from other people, whether it's from friends, family, relationships, whatever. And I feel like that's something that really relate, can resonate with people.
I try my best.
Hmm. Oh my goodness. I know that was like such a dark one, but Penumbra, we pledge our loyalty to the book dragon horde of the Right Now, Read Now Republic, and to all the pages consumed within, one fandom, all books under the sun and moon and written. Okay, guys, I have a challenge for everyone. I actually never tried this, but this just came to me. So I am, only because we're talking about pledges of Right Now, I'm putting out a writing challenge to everyone here in the stream who can create the best Right Now pledge. Whoever creates the best one will vote on it, and I'll vote on them, do them next Monday on the update stream. How's that sound? Like, only has to be a couple sentences. Right now pledge. Whoever can create the best right now pledge, and go post them in. Let's do the. What do you think, Soul? What would be a good one for that? Like writing general chat.
Yeah, let me double check real quick. I'd
I was
say
like this.
I'd say that.
It's been a while since I've done something because I don't usually coordinate with Discord in the middle of a stream, but this like just came to me, and people are getting super creative, crazy. I loved your pledge. I loved your pledge, by the way. Mama Maggie, I loved your pledge as well, and I'm realizing I'm not actually going to be able to tell which pledges I like the most. So you guys should go drop them over in the Right Now Discord channel. I'll throw it up after the stream or during the break, the challenge. But whoever has the best Right Now pledge, I'll throw it up on the website. The website's being updated, getting closer to being rebranded to Right Now officially. But I'm currently was in the middle of working through the mission statement. But I'm like, let's just do a cooler Right Now pledge from somebody in the community. So throw up your Right Now pledges. You guys have all week to do it. Only has to be a couple lines, and we'll see whichever one we like. And I'll throw them back up next Monday. Because you guys are super creative. I was like, clearly I tried to do a Right Now pledge, and it was more like the Pledge of Allegiance. And people laughed. I think your guys can be way more entertaining. And clearly if it involves writing or dragons, that seems to be a win. Megan, I pledge my pen to the Dragon King of Right Now. Type dial with the Queen of Soul. Type tool with the
Oh man.
Manifesting the worlds from within our souls to unleash them on paper for all to read. Oh my goodness. So we have so many. So yeah, that's the challenge I throw up to everyone. I also challenge everybody in this chat or in this group as well. If you guys can think of a better pledge, Chat Soul, Maddie, Crazy, Calvin. If you guys can think of a better pledge, I believe in us. We'll see if we can get something better by next week's writers group. I feel like I could. Okay, if I tried, maybe I could.
You can do it.
Ooh, all right.
We're going off the dome here.
Huh?
Are we going off the dome here?
We're totally going off the dome here.
Out of the dome.
Oh man. All right. So on that note, so I'll throw up that the writers chat. Thank you. I love that. Thank you for throwing that up there, Mama Maggie. Anybody else who comes up with your writing pledge, just go throw it in the Right Now chat. That would be awesome. Oh man, I love you guys. Let's see. Courtney, I know you're on Discord. Can you just throw up the writing challenge in the writers chat? That'd be awesome because so I don't forget. I'll move on to the next thing and then forget about it. I know me. Okay. So I know something that everyone's mentioned. There's actually a couple things that have come to mind, but I know everyone's been thinking about Fated Fantasy. Who all's been working on stories, and is everyone feeling ready for Fated Fantasy?
I finished my story and I'm reworking the cover.
Ooh, that's exciting. Crazy. I know you haven't been writing. You should totally try. We still got a few weeks. I think you could.
If I could think of any fantasy, I'm not too big on fantasy writing.
Just write about your life. You'll be good.
Then it shall be an anthology.
Oh god.
Oh man. What about you, Maddie? Have you did Fade Fantasy speak to you at all? I know you generally work more on scripts. I know you're more a screenwriter than anything else.
I do. I'm terrible at prose. I've tried it like a lot of times, but right now I've got like a pretty solid ending and like everything's all structured out. I just can't force myself to like type in paragraphs. It doesn't make sense in my brain. It's more than 3 lines. I'm working on it.
I'm trying to ask myself if there's a way to bring like a script style format into prose. And I feel like there is, but I don't know what the answer is to that.
It's a lot of on the nose dialogue.
A lot of the dialogue is on the nose. Oh man. Let me see. And then I could tell Megan, you're like a lot of condensing and brainstorming. Ooh. All right. Definitely a lot probably. Well, we still got some time. We still definitely got some time. Maggie, you're like an anthology has been proclaimed across the land. Yeah, and it sounds like we definitely got a lot of research. What's the deal, bro? By the way, I love yours. What's the deal? I pledge to write boldly, to silence doubt with action, to create, revise, and push forward, even when it's messy, even when it's hard. I'm a writer, and today I write. What's the deal? Please post that in the Discord. By the way, that's actually a great one. What I like about that is that one's a little more straightforward. And I don't know if people will prefer straightforward or funny. I could go either way, but I mean the goal is just like, all right, let's write. And I think something that I really love, and I know a couple of us have mentioned it, is that we've kind of taken on writing as a lifestyle. And I think that's what's powerful about everybody who shows up here. And this is one of the things that I really, really appreciate about each of you. Soul Crazy, Maddie, Calvin. I appreciate that each of you guys show up here, whether weekly, every other week when it fits your schedule, and that you're able to try it, you make that attempt at making writing a lifestyle instead of a one-off thing. And I really appreciate that because writing is the process.
Ain't that the truth?
Mm-hmm. And I think that what was that?
Even getting up in the morning is a process.
It is, right? Going through the whole morning routine, right?
Gotta have a coffee.
Well,
like until you get the coffee, and then everything's good.
Yes.
Well, if it was easy, a caveman could do it then.
That it goes into that whole thing, right? If it was easy, would it then be rewarding? Maybe not. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can tell you guys when I finish Scarecrow and on the day I publish it, I'm going to feel so accomplished. Not for any external thing, just for myself and what I had accomplished to create it. And I'm sure each of you guys have felt that same thing whenever you've achieved a goal and then were able to meet that goal for whatever it was.
Yeah, I gotta admit, when I finished Pirates, when I finished Burning Ember, I just sat there, I think, for like an hour, and I'm just like, I actually got this done. I mean, crazy. You knew me when I was still writing like an early version of it, so you know how long I've been working on this.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
This feeling, if I write long enough, I'll get like $100,000 script out there, and then it'll be rewarding.
There you go. Get the script to the right level, and then you'll be able to option it to a production company.
It's all an investment of time.
Excuse me, sir. Could you give us some poor money, please? Please.
We are in the Starving Writers Fund. We pledged to right now, and now we're broke.
Yes. Please, sir.
Oh, God.
Donate to the Poor Writers Group, please.
Please, sir, I want some more.
Please, sir, I want some more with a dash of root beer.
But you know what is beautiful about the process though? If we try to undergo this type of community type process like 10, 20 years ago, we would have been more isolated. The fact that we can do this online helps to bolster the motivation aspect and helps make writing just a little bit more sustainable. I mean, like trying to be a writer like 20 years ago was a much more difficult process. I mean, even outside of self-publishing, right, which is its own thing, but even from just like a community standpoint, like if you didn't live nearby somewhere where you could walk to or drive to a writer's group, then you were kind of just out of luck.
Don't even get me started on typewriters.
Oh my goodness. Can you guys imagine what it must have been like for working on typewriters? I mean, I've worked on a typewriter before, I have. And there are certain workarounds, but you make a mistake on a page and then you have to redo the whole page. Especially if you're later on in it. Now, obviously, if it's an earlier draft, that's one thing, but yeah, they were.
Yeah, I can't imagine just doing that and then like you make a mistake like in the very last line.
I was just
Oh
thinking that.
man.
Imagine getting to the last like little bit of the page, and you're thinking like, "Crap, I can cross that out, but I'm gonna have to retype this whole page to make it look professional."
I
Well, like,
cannot. I really cannot imagine the rage that people felt in that moment.
Like the fear of losing a manuscript in the mail. Oh my god.
Yeah, think about it. Before copiers were made and you can make copies, you could
Mhm.
only send off your one copy of the manuscript, and then you get a letter like 6 weeks back. Hey, I'm sorry, there was a fire. Your manuscript's gone.
Oh my god, that'd be so sad. Oh, that'd be so heartbreaking.
Man, I think
Oh,
if that happened to me, I think I'd just give up at that point.
oh man, that's like worse than like losing a file on like a computer. At least you can like try to work through it again quickly. If you had typewritten the entire thing, you're like, oh god. Well,
Hey, that's why we use things like Google Docs or AutoCrit or something on the computer that goes through the cloud.
it's all saved to the cloud now. So now nothing can ever be lost. Now we all exist in the cloud.
I have a tab button. It's very nice. It's
that's deep.
Like we all exist in the cloud and we have a tab.
That's pretty deep, man.
It depends on how deep the tab is.
Any minute, Kaufman's gonna get raided by someone. We're just gonna see an injection needle go into his neck and his screen go dark. Like he knew too much.
He knew too much. All right, guys. Okay, Calvin, I know you joke, but with where I'm at in my life, if something crazy ever happened to me and I felt like I was by myself, I think I would totally feel more comfortable going live and asking for help than asking certain people like around me. I would be like, hey, at least there is proof in a live setting. Like there's some type of proof over things that can be easily mistaken in life.
Yeah.
I would totally do that. Interesting. I can tell people have a lot of different types of backups and styles of writing. We do have a lot of pen and paper writers here in the community. Do any of you guys write on pen and paper for
Yeah.
like
I
any of
used
your
to.
drafts at all? You used to?
Yep.
Mhm.
Well, no, I never could. I just used my computer.
Mhm.
My
I
wife
never
used to
could.
get.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say my wife used to get pissy with me because I'd go to like Books a Million, and I'd buy those
Mhm.
really nice leather notebooks,
Oh my god.
$20. But yes, it was just so nice to write in them.
Mm. Oh, it's so. And I was like, I always have to use like this same style of pen. I've like fallen in love with this pen for years now, or this style, anyways. Um, You know what's crazy? When my first book that I ever wrote, or technically my first real book I ever wrote, was pen and paper. My first book, I think, took up about 15 notebooks worth. And I was like, yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah,
one of
I
those
have to. I
crazy
I did that
kids.
with Pirates, like
Mhm,
one of the I think the second or third version,
mhm.
and my mom accidentally threw it away.
Oh no! You
I
wrote it
was
on pen and
looking
paper, and
for
your
it, and
mom
she'd
threw it
been
away.
cleaning, and I'm like, "Wait,
Oh
did you
my
see like this
god!
red folder?" Yeah, no, she took it off to the recycling like 2 hours before that.
Oh my
Hmm.
god! And this is why it's so important. Lynn, you said something really interesting. You said I do weekly backups on a solid state hard drive in addition to the cloud. Save your work. I'm gonna say this right now. If you are watching this live stream or replay and you want to take away one thing outside of writing and dragons, save your work.
Mhm.
Save your work. Save your
That's
work
not
like
just for
two
writing;
times.
that's literally everything.
It's absolutely
Yeah,
for
Even
really.
everything.
video
But
games.
if you've been working on something for a period of time and you lose it, you will like cry. Like whether it's externally or internally, you will be crying. I promise you. I know because
Yeah.
I've gone through this too many times in
Yep.
my past of not saving enough times.
Yep. I did that with homework once. I had the entire thing finished,
Hmm.
and I didn't know it wasn't auto saving.
Hmm.
So I just left it in my computer. Decided to restart like update during the night.
Hmm.
I opened the file back up, and it was like the first cube I had made at the very beginning of the project, and I'm just sitting there like, it took me 2 weeks to do that. I actually sat here and cried. I actually
Aw.
messaged my teacher about it, and he gave me an extension for a couple days for it.
I'm actually kind of curious. Is losing your work as a writer, is this like a rite of passage for all writers? Do you have to like lose
I
your
think
work to be
so.
a real writer?
I think so.
My
I
mother.
have not heard an even decent writer not lose your work at least once.
All right. Well, we're throwing this question back to you, so I'm gonna go to the community. I'm gonna pull this and see. Yes, no, maybe.
It has to be the best project you've ever worked on, too.
Yeah.
It's just part of it.
If not the best, then the most important. Either one.
And also,
All
what's
right.
really bad is that there were times where I would be writing uh, on my story, and like
Mhm.
half of it seemed like everything was going smoothly and everything, and then the other half, without me realizing it till I read it again, made no sense whatsoever, and I had to do it all over again to make it sense again.
That is
Aw.
that is called writing in a haze.
Yes.
But crazy, that's just you on a normal basis, but still.
Like that's the normal drafting process. You're like, if the draft isn't crazy enough, it doesn't count. Crazy. I could totally see you like working on like a draft of a story, and then getting to the end, you're like garbage, and you just like burn it, and then you're like, all right, next draft, let's start again.
Burning Man.
Oh man.
Okay, so most people go to Burning Man for the concert. Crazy goes to Burning Man for the right to just burn shit in the open and no one knows what the fuck he's doing.
With a root beer gladly in my hand.
Like he's just sitting in the sand over there. What's he doing? He's just burning things. He's like, I am the Burning Man.
Hey, Bob, how's it going?
Oh man.
And on that note, I must bid you adieu, for I have other things to attend to. But it was very great being on here and seeing you all once more. Pledge
Crazy. Thanks for
allegiance!
that.
Do it.
Thanks for the crazy vibes.
No problem. I'm there.
Bye.
Farewell.
All right. So this was really, really interesting. So I was actually really curious to see if it was actually a rite of passage for writers to actually lose their work. What do you guys think? By the way, if you haven't voted on the poll yet in the YouTube chat, you totally should. I was very, very curious. What do you guys think? Those of you here in the live stream with me, what do you guys think is going to be the winner? Do you think most writers have lost their work?
Yes.
Yes, no, maybe so.
I'm cheating. I'm
Even if
looking
they
at
say they
it.
haven't, they have.
Like if you say you haven't lost your work, you're lying.
Pretty much.
It's a lie.
It'll happen.
If you haven't lost your work at some point due to whether your fault or not, then you're being too
Mhm.
cautious.
Yeah.
You're being too cautious.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
Oh, I want to
Gently
say what's the
encourage it.
deal? Yeah, no, that technically counts as losing your work. So,
as well, what they say?
let's see. I wouldn't say I lost my story, but had this whole world laid out and all these notes about my story. Yeah, no, that's losing your story, dude.
Aw. All
I
right,
mean,
and let's see what we got. So I'm taking a guess that it's going to be yes, and it is. All right, we got 78% said they have lost their work as a writer. Let's see, 11% said no, and 11% said a dragon ate it. So I approve of that one too. I couldn't help myself. Oh man, I was like, good times. Ooh. Oh, that's I think one of the worst things is when you've worked on something for a while and you've written it and then you take a break because like life gets crazy and then you return and you don't know where the stuff went. Whether it was the ideas, the notes, the chapters, the pages, whatever it was.
I
Have
kind of
you
had
guys
that happen with pirates.
Okay.
One of the earlier versions. I mean, I was writing that while I was in middle school and high school, so I had lots of crap going on. But between one version and the next, I mean, the ending didn't change, but a couple of the characters changed very drastically, and I had no idea what to do with them anymore. So that's actually how the antagonist for the second book came about, is because it's like he was supposed to be a secondary character in the first book, but then I
Mm-hmm.
had no idea what he was even doing there at that point. And it's like, so I guess I just kind of have to scrap him. And then it's like, wait, now I have to scrap like this entire thing, part of this story. So hey, it worked out though because he ended up becoming like the main antagonist for the second book.
Mhm.
So it's like not all bad.
Well, at least that worked out pretty well. At least you're able to make it work with the story.
I mean, it took a while, but yeah.
Have you guys ever had like a really good idea for something and then not written it down, and then not been able to remember it?
All the time.
Yeah, Calvin, that's every hour of the hour. Calvin,
Probably.
that's why you got to keep a notebook with you. You got to keep a mini notebook or your phone.
Mine always happens like in the middle of the night. You like wake up in a like daze, and it's like, okay, I have to write this down, but I'll do it
Mhm.
tomorrow morning.
Weirdly, I never have that issue. If I have an idea for a story and I don't write it down,
Mhm.
get to me a month later and I still remember it.
Have you guys ever waken up or you've been like doing something else and an incredible idea struck, like inspiration, and you felt compelled to write because the idea was just so good? Has
Way
that
too
or does that ever happen to you?
Yes.
way too often.
You know, the last time that to that like intensity that happened to me, and I was hanging out with somebody, and I think we were like having like a really great conversation. I'm like, that I had like that epiphany moment. I'm just like, hold on. And then I go to my computer and I start typing, and like I think like 5 or 6 hours later, I stepped away and I'm like, all right, that was like the most amazing chapter I've written in like a few months. And then I realized that they had fallen asleep. I was like, where did time go? And I just like lost all sense of time. But it was so good. And I got so pulled in. It was like such like a compulsion to literally have to write that.
I usually do like a lot of traveling, and usually the ideas that I need to write hit me while I'm like in transit.
Mm-hmm.
So like as soon as I can, I have to like jump onto a computer and start
Mm-hmm.
writing like immediately. It doesn't matter what I'm doing or where I'm going. It's just like right now, this is all that matters.
You know, maybe what we all need is we all need one of those like little like recording things. Kind of like a removable. I mean, I know our phones do, and like you would think we would use our phones more frequently for that type of thing. But I feel like I like need like a little like USB like stick or something small to just like if I have an idea, record the idea. Like that's all. I just need something to record my ideas.
You just carry a typewriter around with you.
I just carry it. I'm just like in public transit somewhere. I'm like, guys, please hold on. I need to start typing.
Like on the quiet train and everything. It's
And getting like the whole like typewriter sound. Everyone will appreciate that. And if they don't, I'll be like, clearly you need to be a writer.
ding.
Oh man, I absolutely love that. I actually think I want to say that must have been a few nights ago. I think I had a really good dream that gave me like some ideas for something for book 2 of Scarecrow. Do you guys get many ideas for your writing from dreams at all?
Only once.
Only one?
Quite often, actually.
Mm,
I
Um,
have really weird, vivid dreams, and like I never forget them, or it's like
mhm,
really rare. And I've actually
mhm.
designed a couple storylines based off a dream I've had.
yeah, I only come up with ideas when I'm not trying to. So usually from dreams.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that goes into the question of do you remember your dreams first off, and then do you get cool ideas from your dreams? I just threw that in the chat. I'd love to hear from you if you get ideas for your writing from your dreams. For me, I kind of go back and forth. I feel like sometimes I remember the dreams and sometimes I don't, but I have gotten some great ideas. What I've learned though is if I don't like write it down immediately or I don't like take some type of message, I won't remember it to such I won't remember the details as much, and then I lose the core of whatever the idea was supposed to be. Yeah. Hmm. I'm sure some really, really good ideas for writing or for like stories have probably generally evolved from writers from dreams. Would be my guess, though.
It's so cool, David
Mhm.
Lynch.
Does David Lynch have a lot of his stuff dream
Yeah.
based?
Well, a lot of it is based on like transcendental meditation that he does. So a lot of it does come from dreams and like just things that he saw during that. It's very cool.
Mm. So, all right. So I feel like we're on a pretty good writing vibe. I feel very inspired and very motivated for writing in general. Um, Adrian. Well, you know what? Everybody has their own way to access streams, right? It really depends on everyone's personal preference. And I think there is no wrong way to help people dream in a way that is safe. So that is the message that I will leave here on a live stream. So on that note, let me think. So I feel pretty good about dream stuff. So actually, because I know we're going to do a writing sprint in just a little bit, but before we do, there's two calls I actually want to let the community know about. First off, for any author, if you're publishing your book soon, we're actually doing something really, really cool soon. I know, no, so we've talked about it. Those of us who are with have been talking through a WriteNow community. And Calvin, this is why I was saying it applies to you. So for anybody who's publishing their book soon, we're going to be adding a new published book highlight spotlight to our weekly streams. So anytime anybody has a book that they're about to publish, we're going to have a place up on the Discord. You can fill out the form, and then we're going to highlight it on our Monday update streams. And this is kind of our way of trying to help give back to the community to help like spotlight books that are coming out by writers. We want to help support each other. So quick shout out. That's something that's actually been super cool on my mind. And I know all you guys have stuff coming out soon. So I think that's actually very, very cool. Like fingers crossed. Fingers crossed for myself that I can get Scarecrow out in a reasonable time. Woo. And I know something that a lot of writers struggle with is once I've gotten the book published, like what do I do with it? And I think marketing, author branding is a whole vibe, a whole thing. So that is what we got. That's what's on my mind. All right. So before we hop into a writing sprint, I need to queue all the stuff up. Let's see. What are you guys all going to be working on today?
Fan fiction rewrite.
Fan fiction rewrite.
Edits for the first Storm book.
Gonna be getting the second draft of my new script.
Yay! Second draft. While I'm pulling this up, do you guys feel pretty good about where you're going to be at today? Writing was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably a couple pages.
All right. Let's see. And I think I got this queued up. Okay. So I think it sounds like we're all going to try to make some solid progress with our stories. I can tell. I'm like, where am I at with Scarecrow? I think I'm actually at a relatively easier chapter. I actually think I am. So I feel pretty good about what I'm going to work on. So let me cue this up now. I know I had the screen share already, and perfect. So what we're going to do, if you're here in the live stream with us, real quick. So we're going to be hopping into a writing sprint next, but real quick, I want to give you a shout out to something else. If you are working on Faded Fantasy and you need help with your storytelling or you need help with your Faded Fantasy stories, tomorrow for YouTube channel members only, we're doing a live stream and an open office hours for the channel members to help you with your Faded Fantasy stories or any story in general due to popular demand by the community. So if you are a YouTube channel member or you haven't thought about becoming a YouTube channel member, go join now. You can join for the open ops hours and then unjoin after if that's not the investment you want to make. All you have to do to join is click down below the YouTube video. Click that join button. It's all linked on the YouTube description. You can see the 3 tiers, support the community, do the coaching session or not. And I would love to help you guys out with your stories. My coaching pricing is usually way more expensive. I've discounted it to help you guys with your storytelling or whatever you are working on. So office hours are tomorrow, twice a month for the YouTube student tier channel members. All right, so I wanted to do that really quick call out. Thank you so much. And for those of you guys here in the live stream, we're going to hop into now a writing sprint. So we're going to do our writing sprint for a little longer. We're going to do about 45 minutes. We've been on the vibe today with writing. So let's make some progress. Let's see, let's try to get some words in. Let's try to get those themes, those stories, those messages, whether we're working on fantasy or something else altogether. So I got easier. Yep, there we go. Helpful if I have all of us here in the chat. So, all right, guys, we got you all queued up here. So we're going to be doing 45-minute writing sprint. We're all working on something. Come join us, whether you are brainstorming, writing, editing, procrastinating, vibing, branding, or doing something somewhere in between. Come join us because it's time to write now. All right, and we are back. 45-minute writing sprint. Wow. How did that sprint treat you guys? Were you guys able to make any progress that time? I felt pretty good about that sprint actually. I I actually I feel like I was pretty happy. I Whenever I start onto a new writing session, I always like to go back and review what I had worked on previously, and that kind of gets me back to the mindset. I went a little farther back this time into reviewing at the beginning of this chapter, and I think I've made some good revisions on the chapter I've been working on so far. And I think it led me to a good part. And I'm getting close to being done on this section of the chapter. I'm at a point of the story where this might be no, this might be one of the first points in the story where the POV in the chapter shifts a lot. And I think this is the first time in the story. So it's just it's different. How's it working out for the rest of you guys?
Mine went all right. I learned a lot about very irrational fears, different names for fears. Hippopotamonstrosis quipidellophobia was my favorite one. It's the fear of long words.
Wait, what? Wait, what's the word?
Hippopotamonstrosis quipidellophobia is the fear of long words.
I was like, I didn't even know that was a fear. That interesting.
There's a fear for everything.
There is another one. It was hexacosio hexaconta hexaphobia is the fear of the number 666. It's
Is there like a fear of
who's
every
naming
number, or is
these?
it just because it's the 666 number?
I think it's just because it's 666.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
even know how to pronounce it, but very interesting.
I was like, I can't even pronounce those ones. Do you have a character who's trying to name their fear?
I was really going through a list of fears, just trying to come up with a new idea for a
Mm,
next first draft, just like while I'm
mhm,
giving the other one a breather. And
mhm.
I got some okay ones, but that's hippopotamonstrosis quipidellophobia is not something I really want to put into a script.
Oh my
Uh,
god, the actor's gonna hate you. They're like, what? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I hate this writer.
Can we get another take? Yeah.
Oh man, that's kind of funny. Man. So how about you? Were you able to make any progress?
Yeah, like I said, I'm working through my rewrite, and right now I'm kind of at a semi-stressful part for the
Mhm.
character, but actually able to write it a little more powerfully in the rewrite.
Nice.
I'm so glad my characters are not real because they'd murder me.
Oh man, I am. Yeah, I can relate with that. I don't know if they'd murder me. I guess I'm more glad that the world itself doesn't exist in that state. That would not be a fun world for anyone to live in.
Yeah,
Ugh,
probably not.
probably not. There's a reason it's near the end of the world. Oh God. Yeah, I don't think anyone would want to live in a post-apocalyptic type world.
It would depend on the world. Mine's post-apocalyptic, but it's not terrifying.
Yeah, mine's post-apocalyptic and terrifying. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, not even a happy post-apocalyptic world. Oh man. Oh God. Well, it looks like we got some good progress here in the chat as well. I saw a couple writers. We're trying to at least make a little bit of progress. What's the deal, Brad? By the way, I love your comment. Like, dreamers are the authors of their own stories.
Yep.
I love that. Len, like, didn't get anything edited, but I did have two of my junior employees call me a dragon. I had somebody call me a dragon, like, wow, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it.
Oh
Oh
man, I just
man.
saw Unwritten Pages comment, and I totally relate to that.
Was that unwritten? I wrote 1,000 words, but of course it was all for my new RP character and not for the actual story chapter.
I have done that way too much.
You're like meaning to forward the plot and the narrative, and then you just end up writing a character bio.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
But I mean that's not a bad thing, right? Then you're just doing some character development. Now, if every single time you write down, you only write character bios, then that's when it's a problem. But if like there's times where like, yeah, character bio time, yeah, great, and then you realize that your story has 1,000 character bios, you're like, all right, maybe I need to hold it off on the character bio. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, Unwritten. I'm making more fun of myself. That's something I would do. Oh man, I think I spent a full 2 months in between drafts on just preparing and planning for the next draft, and I feel like I couldn't even start the next draft until I wrote a character bio for every single character in my book. It was like every single character in my book has a character bio. Well, I mean, except for all like all of the named characters in the book have a character bio. Let me clarify that. I got 28 named characters. Not all of my 35 unnamed animals have character bios. They do not. Oh man. Let's see. And nice, Megan. Also you took a break, write a sample of a piece from a favorite author creator's museum arc adaptation for Epithet Erased. Sounds familiar. I don't know what that is. That sounds like an anime of some type. Or maybe a manga. Emperor, you're like, mine's post-apocalyptic, you won't survive. Yeah, that's something our worlds have in common, my friend. Post-apocalyptic worlds that we probably wouldn't survive in. But hey, at least there's magic, so.
I think post-apocalyptic worlds are really like that.
Mhm.
If you survive, it's only because you're either extremely lucky or you're extremely experienced, and well, how many people are really that?
Yeah, actually, I think that's a really good point. I asked myself like which animals, which like characters have survived in my post-apocalyptic world, and they've either gotten lucky or they've learned to adapt. They were survival of the fittest type structure, so I'm not surprised. Emperor, give me plot armor. I'ma survive everything. Like, all right, Emperor's gonna survive the apocalypse. Like, how do I survive? He has plot armor. Like, damn it.
Plot armor is
Plot
like
armor.
one of the most annoying things in existence because some characters just do it to death.
Ah, man. Yeah. Then I mean, writers then trap themselves into a corner, right? Where the longer the narrative goes and the more dangerous things you put the character through, with the character surviving, how long until it feels like the character has some type of plot armor. Ah, man. Well, I feel like we were able to make some pretty solid progress today. We had some great conversations. I feel like we had like 20 conversations. I hopped around a lot today. And we also started our Right Now Pledge of Allegiance challenge. So anybody who's not in the Discord, come up with a cool Right Now Pledge of Allegiance. We'll see which one's cool, and I'll throw the winning one up on the website. We'll talk about it. I'll showcase the winner on next Monday stream, on our update stream. So go do that. Go throw it up in the Discord. And if you're not in the Discord, you're missing out. You are missing out. We have a very active daily Discord with a lot of things to do in there and a lot of different things. So yeah, super cool. Those are things on my mind. It's been great. We appreciate you. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for another daily writing sprint stream. Discord link. So can you drop a Discord?
Yep.
We'll let you drop it to Twitch.
Uh,
That might just be me actually.
yeah,
I forgot.
that might be you.
It's because I'm hold on. Yeah, because I can drop links to either one. Let me pull it up, Emperor, before I drop the stream. I was like, oh wait, I created a channel in the Discord now that has all the links. I'm so smart. All right, and I'm like, yeah, it's in the YouTube description. Okay, wait, you're not in the YouTube description. All right, here you go, my friend. Dropped it right now. Discord. Boom, roasted. Yeah. Thanks, Megan. Yeah, I beat you to it, but yeah, usually invite links work. There you go. I just dropped it down there. But yeah, I mean, anyone can invite to the Discord. We've it's a pretty open invite. That's one thing I love about it. So yeah, come join. And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow for another daily writing sprint stream. Tomorrow is Thursday. Perfect. So afternoon, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. I'll be here. We'll get some writing in. Yeah. Saturday. So You got something cool going on? We're doing a lot
Yep,
of
on
writing.
Saturdays, I have my Write Chat, which will be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard this Saturday. Hopefully, I see some people there.
Yeah, and it'll be right after our writing stream for the day. So if you want to just like write, but you don't want to be on camera, and you want to chill, still like talk with the other people in the day.
Basically, think of it like
Okay.
tonight,
Mhm.
but we're not live like through
Yeah.
YouTube or anything, and
Mhm.
it's just very casual.
Exactly, right? So it's a great way. It's like casual writers hang out, but you don't have to
Pretty
worry about
much.
being on the camera.
Yeah.
Mhm. Sweet. So that's what we got going on. We'll be back next Wednesday for our next writers group. Hope to see more of you on the stream. And that's all that I got for you, my friends. Who are these guys? You guys can outro yourselves.
I'm Chat Soul.
Oh, Maddie, you muted.
I'm Maddie Marengo.
And I'm Kaufman, and we'll catch you on the next stream. Take care, writers.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Because it's time to write now.